Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another bar by bar analysis here on my channel. Today is April 6th, 2022, and today we're looking at a 2000 tick chart of the E-mini S&P 500 future contracts with a 21 EMA and a 200 EMA indicator. These are the only indicators I use. I like a simple is better approach to the market, and so we're going to just use technical analysis to go through trades today and see what setups we had. So I had a late start to the morning. I didn't trade right away at 8:30. I started about an hour late, and I finished up around, I'd say, 11:15. I can't remember exactly where I stopped, but I think it was a somewhat easier day to trade than yesterday, but still kind of rough. Looking back at the chart, a lot of stems and really hard entries to find, but I managed to get a few trades in, and I did relatively okay today. So we'll go ahead and start. We had drawing in our resistance level at the top here, support at the bottom. So as the market opens, we are anticipating possibly another move down below these overnight lows, but that's not really how we start. There seems to be a level of support down here that forms as prices kind of start to work up. Pretty clear to see that we have some sort of range potentially working here. As this EMA is somewhat flat, prices are ranging up and down below EMA. And we have a new high up here as prices start to break low with the first entry long, and prices continue pushing down below these overnight lows. And a second entry long triggers all the way down here, but there's really no way to enter that. As prices come up to the EMA, we have a new low with the first entry short, second entry short that triggers below this bar. We're also going short directly into these lows. You don't necessarily have a lot of room down here to this swing, so I'd be hesitant in taking any second entry shorts here. I know it's a nice looking signal bar, but I would just be very hesitant about going short here. Prices pull down a little bit before coming back up, and I think stopping people out by a tick. You can see how prices are starting to range even more here, and you could extend this trading range that we have in play. Price is finding support here at the bottom, and we can't forget to be drawing in short-term trends. I rushed through this, I think, a little bit too quickly, and I can't forget doing some of these basics. So potential spike, strong push down below EMA, and then a channel that seems to be holding with EMA, this 21 EMA here at the top. So I would be interested in potentially taking second entry shorts, but we're just going to have to see how things play out. I'm just a little bit hesitant to take any trades as as prices are trying to figure out what to do here at these overnight lows. As prices continue here, we have this new low that forms with the first entry short. Prices come up, second entry short if it triggers below this bar, but the body of the candle isn't close to the EMA. I don't like how far that body of the candle is, so I'm not interested in going short there. It traps people in for that second entry short before reversing and finishing nice and bullish, stops people out. But you're also, and there's a new high here, so first entry long, prices pull back for a second entry long, but you're below EMA in downtrend. Just really no trades to take. You can also see that we have prices that are ranging up and down here, so pretty clear to see. Just got to stay out of these trades. Now, as prices find this level of support here at the bottom, we could anticipate for prices to push back strongly above EMA and potentially get higher lows, higher low setup, but we just won't know yet until we see prices continue to play out. We have a new low here with a first entry short, second entry short that triggers below this bullish bar, but you're not looking to go long above this bearish bar. Depending on how the next bar forms, okay, so there really is no entry, no way to go long, and hesitant to go short. Really not a good signal bar to go short into. So it's something you kind of just got to stay out of. Unfortunately, prices come back down to the support level of this range, and it looks like prices try and pull back up to the EMA, but EMA holds. So we have a new high here with a first entry long. Prices come back down below this range here. We also have a break of this channel looking for a new low, so we do have to be very hesitant. We have to be very careful about trying to go short unless we see what prices do at EMA. That being said, prices leave without us here. They come all the way down here. There's a second entry long here. I'd be interested in taking a higher low after the second entry long, but I'm not trying to pick a bottom. So as prices are coming down here, I want to see more confirmation that prices are going to continue to push up. but they don't. Prices continue to push down. Can't forget to draw in our short-term trends, holding prices nicely with a break new low, looking for prices to reverse and push back above EMA, and they don't. Prices continue to fall low. And as we continue making lower lows, we might have a bigger downtrend at play. We really won't know until we get more price action. Some people could argue that's that break in new low, looking for prices to reverse back above EMA. First entry short, I'm a little hesitant to be looking at a second entry short. Second entry short triggers all the way down here. Indecision, doji bar, just obviously not worth taking. But we are getting higher lows, so we are starting to work up, but no way to enter this higher low. There's not enough room to the EMA, so just got to hold out, look for a higher low that happens above the EMA that's moving. As prices push strongly above EMA, this could signify the end of this downtrend and reversal back up. So we draw in our short-term trend as prices push strongly above EMA, new high with the first entry long, and prices come down a potential second entry long triggers, but so high, far from EMA. Not interested in taking that. We did have a break of this trend line, looking for a new high, and where are prices most likely to go? Up here to the overnight lows, as we know. This level of support will now act as a resistance as prices push up to that level. We also have a new low with a first entry short, second entry short here, but I'm not looking to pick a top. As prices are strongly pushing above EMA, I want to see how prices are going to hold here at EMA. We have a new high. Prices come up for a double top, and that resets the count. Prices come down with a first entry long. And this was actually a higher low that I remember seeing. I don't think I took it. Yeah, I don't think I took that trade because of how doji the bar was. But as I had mentioned, we had a break looking for a new high. Prices were pushing strongly above EMA. If that bar had finished more bullish, I definitely would have taken it. It's also kind of clear to see we have prices kind of congested a little bit, overlapping bars. So, but you are buying at the low of the congestion here. So, if you have some room to the highs, if we had a better bullish bar, that's something that I would potentially look at taking. But wasn't able to get in that as prices come up. There's a triple test here at the top, one, two, three. So we definitely have a level of resistance up here that we have to make note of before prices push back down below EMA. Now, this was the first trade I took for the day, and it might have been a little bit aggressive, but the way I saw it, we had a triple top up here, triple test up here, as prices push down below EMA, a nice close below EMA. So that's a close, 2, 3 bars with stems trying to push up. This is where I went short. I ended up entering a short here, and managed to get a scalp, and that was my first trade of the day. A little bit aggressive. It was kind of hard to see in the moment, but I really was anticipating for prices to hold and continue pushing up to these overnight lows. We just didn't get that. Prices immediately pushed down below. Then with this close 2, 3 stems as well, this is where I entered and went short. Now, when prices pushed back down below EMA, I really started to ask myself, okay, well, could this be the start of a range at play? And so I started to draw just potential range, right, with this EMA kind of holding in the middle, but it was just too early to tell. We had a new high up here with a first entry long, second entry long that fails. You could potentially go short on this bar. You have room to the lows. This was a relatively bigger bar, 16 ticks. But I mean, if you were reading the market that way and you had a range in here, you could take that short. You would have been in this trade before prices come down, and I think you would have barely made that scalp. 8.75 down to 7.0, 6.7. So that's 7 ticks. That's another 7 tick move. I think we've been seeing that a lot lately of some of these aggressive trades. They are only working out for about 7 ticks rather than 8. But depending on how many points you're going for, that could be a move that you take with these room to the lows. Prices immediately push back strong close above EMA and then come back down. As EMA flattens out, this range is definitely looking more promising. And what we have is prices really holding tight to this EMA, no clear direction as prices are trying to figure out what to do before you get prices that shoot up all the way up here and nice bounce off this level of resistance. I really shouldn't have. I mean, I didn't notice it in the moment, but you could argue potentially taking an aggressive trade here, aggressive short. You have room back to the EMA if you're entering 650 down to 6275. That's just over 2 points. Plenty of room. You could enter that and you would have been out. 7 tick move. Yeah, that's another 7 tick move, aggressive trade. But if you had room to the EMA, depending on how many points you're going for, you could take that. But again, I didn't see that in the moment. I don't even really want to market. I don't want these videos to be too much about post analysis. Hindsight's 2020. I want to focus on trades that I really am able to see and take in the moment. So I'm not going to mark that. I don't want to cheat here, but I could see how some people would enter that. Now you can kind of see prices are trending upwards, but as always, when you're working in these ranges, you have to be very careful about how wide you make these channels because the the trend line rules really don't work when these channels are so big and you're in a trading range. So but that's what I started to see is a little bit of prices working its way up to this resistance level of the range. No trades, not even really a higher low. I guess looking back at it, when prices came off this EMA, you could see this as a higher low to take up to the EMA. You have plenty. I'm sorry, up to this level of resistance, you have clear room to the top here. You could maybe argue taking that as you see we get higher lows and prices would have came up, but you would have been in that trade for just a little bit of time, got in that scalp before prices come back and test this EMA. By this time, prices are congesting, a lot of overlapping bars here at EMA. The safest thing to do is just not even look for trades. You have a new high here with a first entry long and another bar where we have close followed by a bearish bar and then two candles that tried pushing up above EMA and couldn't do it. And this is where I took my second trade of the day. But the way I did it was I waited for the trigger to happen below and then I entered a limit order back up here. And the reason I did that is I didn't like that the body of the candles were so far from the EMA. Whereas over here, you have these two stems. The body of the candle is at least close to the EMA. Here, they're not. And so I entered a limit order and I snuck it in. I had my stop at 425. So I had my entry at 2.25 right here, a 2 point stop. And that was just risk management. Prices came up, filled me, and I was in this trade for just a little bit before they came down and I got that scalp. So this was another more advanced trade that I saw, but I just saw prices finding level of resistance here at the bottom. Where are prices most likely to go to the bottom of this range here? And so I ended up taking that trade. As prices came down, they didn't quite make it to the lows here. We had that new high with a first entry long before prices come down here. Second entry long triggering above this signal bar, but really not enough room to the EMA. Wasn't interested in taking that because there wasn't enough room. Here's a higher low with a good signal bar, but you're closing right here at EMA. Prices aren't necessarily going to be pushing above. The prices could respect the EMA here, so really not looking for any trades. That higher low would have worked. You would have gotten that scalp, but it's just a little bit too risky. You have a new low with the first entry short, second entry short closure here. I almost think 1 tick above the EMA. This could be an aggressive one that you could take. I definitely didn't see it really. I wasn't really interested in going short after we had gotten these higher lows. You know, prices are pushing up. We're in the middle of the range. It's an aggressive one. I wonder if it works out. Okay, so some people that entered short here would have been in this trade and definitely gotten a scalp, but it's very aggressive. Prices could have easily ticked 1 tick down and reversed back up to the top to test these highs again. But as prices push back down, really this range is telling us a lot on what's going on with the market. The one thing I should have mentioned before, I'm sorry, I've been bad at this today, but we do have prices that were working down as well, the short-term trend with a break looking for a new low. I think one of the reasons I wasn't looking for a short here is let's see, as prices broke whatever short-term trend line here we had, it broke, made a new low, almost created a double bottom, and then we got a higher low. So I really thought prices were going to push up. I thought downtrend has played out. We have this higher low. Prices are going to push back up above EMA. That's why I wasn't interested in seeing this trade. I did see the second entry short form, but I just wasn't interested in taking it for that reason. Now, as prices come up, let's see, we have a new high with the first entry long, second entry long, but you're below the EMA here. Not interested in taking that. No room to the EMA as well. You kind of just have to sit on your hands a little bit. Now you can start to see prices are starting to respect this EMA just a little bit more. So we're not necessarily looking to take any trades just yet. As prices push strongly above EMA, I was looking for a higher low opportunity because we want prices to come back and test these highs again. And I think they did, right? Prices came up, nearly tested the highs before coming back down. And this was a higher low that you could have taken, but I think it's a little bit too early to get in just because you had prices push strongly above EMA. We want prices to come back down and test this area before we look at going long. And so I really wasn't interested in going long there. I saw this doji bar. If this had finished bullish, I would have gone long here on a second entry long. We had a new high with a first entry long, second entry long, but we didn't quite get that. Doji bar, still a little bit of indecision. The other thing I saw here was a new low with the first entry short, second entry short that failed, but we're not quite at the EMA yet. So very, very hard to spot this in the moment. This next bar forms, and it was so tempting to go long on this bar. I was really, really thinking about going long here. I don't know. I don't remember why I didn't. We had uptrend working up with a break, attempt at a new high. Prices come back down to EMA. Man, this could be a bar. Like when I look at it post analysis here, I don't know why I didn't go long. Maybe I wasn't looking at the chart necessarily, but we had a first entry long, second entry long. We have a new low with a first entry short, second entry short that fails. Price is 350 up to 450, so it's already made 1 point. Next bar forms. I think prices went up first. So if you went from 350 up to 525, that's another 7 point move. Even if you were to enter this, that's another 7 point. So that's not, I'm sorry, a 7 tick move. It's not a full 8 ticks. So if you're going for 2 points, all these aggressive trades you're going to be missing out on. You're not going to be making that money. I don't know what it is with the market lately, but I mean, you can see as you look at this market, a lot of stems going up and down. It's kind of frustrating to see. Prices continue, strong push below EMA, looking to see how prices react here at EMA. And prices are just really not respecting the EMA. We have a new low with a first entry short. Prices come up, failed second entry short below this bar. You could potentially go long. You could take a failure above this bar. As prices come down, test EMA, come back up above this signal bar. You could enter here if you entered 475. Prices would have came up all the way to 725. So you definitely would have gotten 2 points there, right? Yeah, you definitely would have gotten 2 points if you had entered as prices were moving past this signal bar with clear room to the top of the trading range. But by this time, I think I had been done. I think I was done trading. It really wasn't a long day for me. Uh, let's see, by this time it's 10:47, so we're going to keep going a little bit longer here. Prices push strongly up above, and now we're breaking out of this trading range, but we don't want to pick a top. You can find the level of resistance that prices are finding here off the 200 EMA. And in the past, we've seen that prices like to hold off this 200 EMA. So we also have prices coming up, testing these overnight lows before pushing down. Now, this is the reason why we don't like picking tops, right? If we think, oh, I'm going to pick this as the top, prices are going to come back down, plenty of room to the EMAs. This is the type of mentality that gets you stopped out because some people would be in that trade and then prices immediately reverse and stop people out. So don't pick tops. I would be interested in taking a lower high back down into the trading range. That's what I'm looking for. So you would have been stopped out, back up top, testing overnight lows here, not trying to pick a top, but we do have this top looking for a lower high. And as prices work their way back down to the EMA, man, we don't really get that lower high there. We have this new high with a first entry long. Prices come up, and there's a lower high right there. Bearish signal bar. We have this strong level of resistance here off overnight lows. We have a strong resistance off here, this 200 EMA. Prices had been trending downward basically all morning. So this could be a lower high worth taking, but you are close to the resistance from this range as well with that strong push above EMA. It's risky, but with how long we were in this trading range for. Could this be that breakout pullback? I mean, most likely where our price is going to go, our price is going to break out, pull back, immediately hold a resistance and push back up into this heavy resistance here at the top. I mean, these are the things that you got to think about. Or are you looking for a second entry long, potentially to get in that trade? So you could take a lower high here. I think it's moved a little bit too much. You don't really have room at EMA. I'm not going to mark that. But you would have been in this trade and scalped out as prices find this level of resistance here again and pushing back down into this trading range, just as we thought it would. I guess working back, if you were looking for a second entry long, you had a first entry long, second entry long up here that could fail. And if it fails, it's going to fail back down into this trading range. So you could enter a stop limit, maybe one tick below the signal bar, because those that are going long, their stop is going one tick below this. And as prices, as you get this bar here, nice bearish bar closed below EMA, trending downwards, man, this could actually be, if you manage to see it in the moment, you're going to get people out of their trades trying to go long, and prices would have pushed down. And where are they most likely to go? To the bottom of this range, and look what we get. Literally, you could have had a entry here and a runner down here at the bottom where we anticipate prices are going to go, and that would have been a decent, for sure, a decent trade. But by this time it's 11:09, prices kind of chop up a little bit, and it's 11:30, and this is just where I'm going to end the bar by bar analysis for today. Overall, not the easiest day to trade. Some aggressive trades, some difficult trades to get into. Most of the trades, I think all of the trades I saw were from about 9:27 to 11. So you maybe have an hour and a half worth of having to sit through these trades. I don't know where prices are going now. They're holding above EMA, the bounce off EMA. Not the easiest day to trade. We also have FOMC coming out and in about 5 minutes here, 1 o'clock Central Time. So it is what it is, though. I hope that you guys had a good trading day today. I won't be making a video tomorrow or Friday because I have some work that I need to take care of. So the next time I'll probably post the videos next Monday. I kind of want to rework a little bit of the strategies that I personally have as I continue to refine my skills, because I definitely want to adapt to the market. If the market is being stingy and things are being difficult, I have to be able to adapt with it. I'm hoping that times get easier and the market is a little bit more forgiving to us, but we just have to be prepared for anything here. So I'll probably look at new strategies, new entries, new ways to manage trades, because the way I trade just isn't 100% set in stone. So I appreciate those that are watching these videos. I hope that you get something out of it. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you know exactly when I post these videos, and feel free to share it with a trading buddy. It never hurts to have that additional resource to look off of, and I'm sure more people could get some benefit out of these bar by bar analysis videos. So until then, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time.